Hello, my name is Shane Fitzgibbon and I'm a youth nutrition specialist with the International Youth Conditioning Association. This is a cut down version of a nutrition talk that I often give, and this version was given to the children at my Fitcamp4Kids at Easter in 2014, and really it's based around getting the children involved in the decision making process with their parents as to what they're eating. So we'll be talking a little bit about vegetables and helping the children choose wisely about their breakfast cereals if they're going to eat cereals at all. So really the big thing for the children is getting their optimal health right. If they're eating properly and avoiding sugary foods, they're going to have the consistent energy to do whatever activities they want to do, and they'll still sleep properly at night. Plus, they will also tend to have better concentration and memory at school. So what are we looking at here? Well, the big thing with good nutrition is getting the majority of your carbohydrates from vegetables, and a wide variety of colour vegetables really is the key. When I talk to children about fruits and vegetables, we compare it to the colours of a rainbow. So I say your plate should look like a rainbow. At least 5 different colour vegetables on your plate at mealtimes. And it can often be difficult for parents to get children to eat vegetables, but it's not always that difficult if the children are involved in choosing the vegetables based not so much on taste but on colour. So I recommend 5 colour fruits and vegetables every day. So, this really is aimed at the parents, but there's so many health benefits from the different colours that, just looking at the list here, you can see all the different benefits. And I'm not going to go into them in depth now because there's plenty of sources on the internet for reading up on this. But if you're going to have healthy children that are grown to healthy adults, then they need to develop a taste for vegetables as young as possible. So this is a photograph that I took of one of my typical lunches, and as you can see there's a good mix of colours there. I've got my protein source for start with, which was actually some salmon with some Cajun on it, I believe, here, and I've got some green leaves as the base. I'm looking at red here, red onion, tomato, which is red as well, yellow pepper. I've got some grated courgette and carrot, if I remember correctly. So green again, but I've got my orange in here as well. So it's just about getting a good mix really of colours on the plate. Avoiding processed foods really is essential because there's so many additives in the food nowadays, and it's just driving children and adults nuts alike in my experience. Here's just some examples of what is in processed foods nowadays, between artificial colors and flavorings, and you can see over here the different type of reactions that can be caused with people, particularly children, because they react to everything that's given to them. So you're looking at things like asthma, rashes. Hyperactivity is a big one really for children. You only have to think about children coming back from parties, birthday parties, and they're swinging off the light shades if they've been given lots of sweets at the party. So it's something to just to be aware of. Here's some of the chemicals that are often put into biscuits and sweets and fizzy drinks, and again, here's some of the problems like asthma, rashes, allergies, upset stomach. Hyperactivity is there again, and asthma and rashes again. Hyperactivity and asthma again down here. So just something to be aware of. And so coming back to the breakfast cereal choices, it isn't essential for children to have cereal. There are other options. Nuts and eggs make a great breakfast cereal, and fruit especially. We are conditioned to think that we must get grains in our diet, and the more grains the better, but that isn't the case. We need to be getting our carbohydrates from vegetables primarily as opposed to grains. But if they are going to eat cereals, then it is important to choose the healthiest ones possible. And one thing I will say is that Any cereal that has a cartoon character on the box, that is a one to probably avoid, because they're selling the cartoon character to the children and not the nutrition in the cereal. So Dr. Chris Moore, and here's his website, More Results, he recommends that per serving, cereals should have a minimum of fiber of 3 grams and a maximum sugar content of 10 grams. Now we're going to look at some cereal labels here, and we're going to analyze them. But a serving can vary from 30 to 40 grams, and 40 grams really isn't all that much. So 10 grams of sugar in 40 grams of cereal is actually quite a lot. But that's, these are the guidelines for minimum and maximum. So let's have a look at some cereals. So here's a typical one. If we look at the breakdown here, we can see that the fiber is 2.1 grams per 30 grams serving. And up here, the carbohydrate is 28.4 grams and the sugars is 12.3. So based on what Dr. Moore recommends, that's more than 10 grams of sugar and it's under 3 grams of fiber. So he would say that's one to leave on the shelf. So what do you think the cereal is? Let's have a look. Cheerios. Now the question is that in your kitchen cupboard or not? Moving on, here's another one. By the way, all these cereal labels, I took photographs of them in January 2014, so they're correct as of January 2014. There may be changes in the meantime, of course, but I would doubt they're much. So here we have per serving, 30 gram serving, which is the blue, sugars 9 grams, and fiber 0.3 grams. So on the sugar side of it, yeah, that passes, it's under 10, but look at the fiber. That is only 10% of the recommended 3 grams of fiber per serving. So what cereal do you think this one is? That is Rice Krispies. So that could be one to leave on the shelf if you're looking for healthy selection of cereal. Next one, 40 gram serving this time. So we're going to take into account that the sugar is a little bit higher. It's 13 grams. So it's still a little bit higher, it is over the 10, but the fiber is 11 grams. Now, to my mind, that is such a high fiber content, that is going to offset the fact that the sugar is a little bit over 10. So my thinking is that that's not a bad one to choose. That would be pretty good. So what is this? That is All Bran, and please note it's All Bran original. There is a couple of other incarnations of All Bran which I don't believe are quite as healthy as the original. So now the next one, this is a 37.5 gram serving, and the sugars here are 1.7 grams, so that's extremely low, which is really good. The fiber is 3.8 grams. It's not massive, but it is higher than the 3 grams minimum recommended. So that's a pretty good choice. That's one to definitely consider taking home, and that is Weetabix. How are you doing so far in the guesses? So now next one, this is a 30 gram serving, and the carbohydrate is 9 grams of sugars. The fiber is 0.9 grams. So again, sugar is okay, but the fiber is really low. So that would be one to leave on the shelf, I think. That is cornflakes. How many of you are surprised now? Now, moving on to the last one. This is a 40 gram serving. Now the sugars here, look at that, 0.4 grams. So that is, I think that is the lowest one we've seen. And the fiber is 3.3 grams. So it's super low amount of sugars in there, and it has got more than 3 grams of fiber. So again, this is a good choice to consider taking home. And this one is Flavin's Organic Porridge. So that's the end of this talk. If you're interested in finding out more information, my book Training in Optimal Health for Sports, which has quite a lot of nutrition information as well as exercise information, is available on the website traininginoptimalhealth.com. And if you want to get ongoing health and nutrition tips as well as sports training tips, there is our Facebook page, Training on Optimal Health. Thank you very much, and wishing you the best of health in the future.